I'm very conscious that I'm being recorded. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you've got to ask me a question.
Okay, our first question is from Karen Kirby, and Karen says, can you feed Metaslim to young growing ponies with a chaff, or do you need to add something extra?
Well, if the ponies don't need any extra feeding, then yes, certainly the Metaslim with the chaff. I'd be slightly concerned about a young growing pony getting to the point where it needs Metaslim. I think one would need to look at the management of the young growing pony first, because it's not at all good for ponies to be in a state where they're overweight and at risk of getting EMS.
Okay, thank you. And our next question is slightly related from Gina Nelson. She asks, what's a good chaff to go with my Metaslim?
That's a good question. The horses or ponies that need Metaslim, on the whole, will tend to be a little bit overweight. So we need a chaff that's low in calories, but a nice chew and is satisfying for them to eat. Simple choice with the Metaslim is the organic Lucy stalks. Provided the pony's got good teeth to chew them up. But very elderly ponies with poor dentition might find a chaff a bit so soaks Lucy.
Okay, perfect. So organic Lucy stalks or Lucy fibre cubes for ponies that struggle to chew.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, our next question is from Karen Lewis. Karen asks, I'm currently feeding Lucy stalks with Pura Beet to moisten to my two 15-2 good doers. One's an Appy and a Hanoverian. Should they be on supplements or even have salt? I've always tried to be as basic as possible with feeds, but so many people say I should be feeding different supplements. They seem healthy to me, but would appreciate your opinion.
Yeah, it's a good question. My feeling is that all horses should have access to salt, free access salt if they're turned out all the time in their field. Something like is good because you can move it around, take the rainwater off, and being at a low level, it's a good level for them to be using it from. Horses, when they sweat, lose salt. Their sweat is saltier than their blood. So particularly in the summer, they should have access to salt. If you've got a very good, varied mixed pasture with lots of wildflowers and so on as well, it's possible in the summer they may not need a supplement. But if you're at all concerned, then a good balancer such as Total Eclipse or Simple Balance Plus is good. And particularly in the summer when soaked feeds can ferment if they've been wet for too long, you may find actually to keep it really simple, just put a little bit of water with your Lucy stalks and that will dampen it down without you having to go to the hassle of soaking up beet pulp.
Perfect. Thank you, Jane. Our next question is from Loretta Wright, who asks, I use Lucy stalks for clicker training. Any chance you'd consider making a safe pellet feed to use dry?
Yeah, we're ahead of you there, Loretta. We've already done that. It's called Lucy mints. They're made from just English lucerne with some herbal peppermint. They're slightly your average nuts to pick up. They're quite firm, so they don't fall to bits in your pocket or your pouch. And the minty flavour makes horses really keen to do whatever it is you want in order to get the reward. So yeah, Lucy mints every time. Brilliant.
Perfect. Thank you, Jane. And our next question is from Louise Carway, who asks, what's the best thing to put on my paddock to boost the grass root health? It's being rested in parts and will be strip grazed. Soil is quite sandy.
Yeah, that's also a very interesting question, a very pertinent one. Sandy soils drain very easily, so you don't get as much mud in the winter as those of us on heavier soils. But it does mean that nutrients get leached out, and sandy soils can tend to be a little bit acidic. So we want something that's not going to give us a flush of growth from the grass. We don't want horses to go down with laminitis or to get too fat. So a really good one to use is the Equine Calcified Plus, which is a natural product. It's made from limestone and seaweed extract. The seaweed helps to encourage the grass to root more deeply, which gives you a longer growing season, but not a flush. And the limestone, ground limestone, helps to neutralise any acidity that may have built up. You can put it on at any time of the year when the grass is short is best, because it's a soil conditioner. So we want it to get to the soil as soon as possible. And you will need around 5 bags to the acre. It just so happens that a dressage arena, 20 by 40, is a fifth of an acre. So if you're not quite sure of your acreage, walk out a dressage arena and it's 1 bag to a dressage arena.
That's great.
That will stay good for a good 2 years. Yeah, so you don't have to do it too often. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Thank you.
And there is a comment on that one from Caroline Jenkins, who says she's also interested in this, but her soil is heavy clay. Does that make a difference?
Well, it's a very different soil type, but the limestone, being high in calcium, will help to flocculate the clay, which means that it will form little clumps instead of a solid mass, and that will help with the drainage. So yes, even on the heavy soil, it's still good. It's just working in a slightly different way. That same product gives you a good effect.
Perfect.
Good, thank you.
And our last question is from Sheila Robinson, who asks, can you test for the hormone level in grass or haylage? Yeah,
it's a very interesting one. There's a school of thought that suggests that in certain growing conditions, grasses and particularly clovers can produce estrogens. As far as I know, there's no actual way commercially of getting that measured. In a scientific situation, in specialist laboratories, they might be able to do that. But as far as I'm aware, that isn't something that can be measured. It's not something that I'm all that too concerned about if you're not actually breeding. Excess estrogen might affect the cycle of mares, yeah, I think what's more important is to look at the horse. If he's getting too chubby, then he needs more exercise. I don't think there's too much mileage in getting stressed about hormone levels. If we can't test for it, then we shouldn't fret about it.
That's great advice. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome. Some good questions there.